Hello, my name is Kareem McBride,
And I'm Arman Binambe.
and today we are going to be discussing who is the better superhero,
Superman.
or Batman.
Alright.
I'll go first because I'm obviously right. So,
Okay.
starting with Batman's story, right?
Right.
The thing that I think puts his story above Superman's story is just the personal struggle, right? You can obviously see that he is having problems in his life, not like Superman, where the main picture you have of Superman is him flying around saving people, you know, with his damsel in distress on his shoulder, and it's
Okay.
like you don't see trouble. Batman is all about the struggle. The struggle is real with Batman. It's not real with Superman.
The struggle is real. His struggle is from the death of his parents, which happened when he was a young kid.
Not young enough to not remember. Superman, he
Not
wasn't
remember,
even
that's
there
not
when
it.
his parents died.
Yes, but he's dealing with the loss of his entire planet. Superman is the lone survivor of his planet.
And he doesn't even
Batman
know
only
that.
loses his parents, just the parents. And okay, keep going.
Well, Superman doesn't figure out that his planet dies and that he's an alien until he's old enough to deal with it. And then he wasn't there for the destruction of his planet, so it doesn't really hit him
That's not
as
the point.
personally
That's
as
not his struggle is mainly about fitting in because he grows up a different person. Since his young age, he's developing superpowers, and growing up with Martha and Jonathan Kent, they're telling him he's different, and he has to try to way to fit in the society. He has to hide who he is since a young age. He has to grow up as a different person because no one can figure out who he is. If people know who he is, he's gonna get arrested. It's the FBI, everyone is gonna be on him. So he has to work as a different person while hiding who he is, his identity.
that is a thing that exists.
No,
The
that's
o-
because you said Batman has more struggles as an individual. That's why he's a better character.
he has more personal struggles.
Superman has more personal struggles. Growing up, he has superpowers that he can't show to people. He doesn't understand his origin because at the beginning he doesn't know who he is. Think about yourself. You're different than everybody else around you. You don't know where you're from. You don't know anything about your parents. You don't know anything about your planet. And you have all these superpowers that no one does. And your parents are telling you not to use them, not to show them. No one can know who you are. That's how he grows up.
So my argument with that is that while Superman does have, he does have the superpowers thing,
Right.
and having to hide who he is from the rest of the world and feeling bad about that, I guess.
Yeah.
I think that Batman does have something that can argue that, because it's one thing to have something tangible that you can put. You're like, oh, I'm different because of this, right? I'm different
Right.
because I can shoot lasers out of my eyes or pick up buses and all that.
Right.
Batman, he feels alienated from everyone else because
Just because he lost his parents?
maybe.
By your reasoning, we'd have like
The-
100,000
But
Batmans.
the
because
thing
a
is,
lot of
it
people
might
lose their
not.
parents.
He doesn't know what it is. No one knows what it is.
What
It's
do you mean
probably not, because you're right. Superman
It's
lost
just a
his
grief
parents.
of the loss of his parents, which happens when he's a young age. Yes, I acknowledge that he happens to see his parents get married.
Because
but,
I'm not saying that that's the reason he
that's the
feels
root of
alienated.
his. That's the main basic reason why he becomes Batman. If you know
It's
his
why he becomes
origin,
Batman,
exactly,
but
it's
he's-
because he lost his parents at a young age. But by that reasoning, we would have like 1,000 Batman. The only reason he's becoming Batman is because he had the means to become Batman.
Well, first of all,
Every-
that argument applies to Superman too, because
No, it doesn't.
being
The only-
alienated is something that everyone goes through
For
at some
Superman,
point.
he's alienated, but he becomes Superman because of
But
his
not-
powers. Batman becomes a superhero because he has money to become who he is.
Okay.
Batman.
No.
Yes.
No. That's not how it works. See, the thing about that is, and I mean, that does, it's an interesting conversation we could have about that.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, when Superman feels alienated, right?
Yes.
He has the means to become a superhero. He has superpowers.
True, because that's the only
All
way
the
he can
superpowers.
fulfill. Like he feels like he has to protect the Earth because he has the powers and he can do what other people can't.
Exactly.
But
Now
at
here's
the same
thing.
time, he can hide
Batman.
who he is.
Batman has the exact same emotional state as Superman. He feels alienated, right?
Exactly, but
Except for he
becomes-
has to work to become a superhero.
True, but his motivation
Superman can
of
become a
being
superhero anytime he wants.
is because he wants revenge for his parents. He wants justice
But then when
for the
he
death of his parents.
when he is finally able to extract that revenge,
See, at the
he
very
chooses
beginning,
not to.
they are driven by different motivations. Superman is because he wants to help people. He wants to use his powers for the greater good of mankind. Batman is trying to fight crime and go against the people who killed his parents. He doesn't want.
He's still. You can't say Batman doesn't want to help people.
Not.
I mean, most people would say he has a hero complex where he
but
needs
his
to
hero
help
complex
people.
is driven by his vendetta of avenging his parents.
And what is Superman driven by? He's
Superman
not driven
is
by
not-
anything. He has no drive.
That's the point.
He
He's
does
not
things
trying.
'cause he
He's
can.
not fighting crime just for the sake of fighting crime. He's fighting it because he has the powers and he wants to use them for the greater
Yeah,
good.
because he can.
Exactly.
Because he is able.
But he's
to.
not driven by
He has
his
no
own
real-
vendetta of
he
trying.
just has-
Okay, look, Dark Batman is dark, and he's a person who's like, okay, my parents died, so he lives with that grief of his parents.
Yeah, and I'm
throughout
saying
his
that people
adult
can
life,
relate
and then-
more to that than they can some guy with superpowers saving the world because he feels like it and can do
It's
so.
not that he feels like it's a responsibility because he has.
It's not
the
a
powers.
responsibility. It
is.
really isn't. It's not his responsibility. He's an alien.
What in the comics?
He just showed up
when
on Earth
he
and now
meets
he's
his
like- Mm-hmm.
father in the Fortress of Solitude. His dad tells him he sent him to Earth to protect the Earth, so that the same thing that happened to his parents doesn't happen to Earth. He has to help the population of Earth,
Protect from Earth General Zod.
Zod too,
Earth,
and
General Zod.
other supervillains that come to Earth. He has
No,
to
I'm just
protect
saying that
Earth from
that,
all that.
that Earth isn't really in the position that Krypton was.
In some ways, yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Actually, in most
Krypton-
ways, it is.
Krypton
explodes because they were using whatever in the energy core. They're using their energy core, and that's why the planet blows up.
Right, and he has to protect that from happening on Earth.
We are doing that
Doesn't
now.
say anything about catching bank robbers and
That is in some ways still part of being a superhero.
does that because
he doesn't choose. Okay, so I'm gonna fight this sort of crime. or
he does that
prevent
because he
this,
wants
and-
to.
Right.
Batman has a misplaced sense of heroism. He feels like he needs to save people because he couldn't save his parents when they were brutally shot in front of him.
Oh, it is not.
And
a
you're gonna
misplaced sense of
argue,
heroism. It is not a misplaced. It's
what do
something
you mean
he
it's
planned
not
since.
misplaced?
When
It's
his
most
parents
definite. He
get
doesn't need to be
killed,
doing
he
that.
goes to this whole stage.
Yeah.
And then he tries.
Of what do I do now? My
Right.
parents are dead.
But then he says, okay, from now on, I'm gonna fight crime.
Yeah.
Superman, if you take his side of the
I'm
story,
gonna
it's
save.
basically
I am
the
going
same
to
thing.
save people.
He grows up a different person. He grows up feeling alienated, first of all, because he's an alien.
Yeah,
But then when
because he's literally an alien.
Yeah, he's literally an alien. When you say for Batman, it's figurative. But
Yeah.
then he starts seeing that all the things that are happening around him, he
Mm-hmm.
can change them because he has the powers to do so.
Yeah.
When he meets
Now-
his father, Jor-El, in the Fortress of Solitude, his dad tells him he sent him to planet Earth to protect it. So he becomes Earth's protector.
Don't
He
you think
becomes-
that kind of mitigates the whole I can do something to, because the thing about that is that Superman deals a lot more with kind of destiny, like fate. Like he was sent to this planet for a purpose, right?
Right.
I feel like that mitigates his own realization that he can use his powers for good.
But he could easily not follow his dad's instructions.
Sure, he could have.
But the point is, he follows it because he grows up with his but his adoptive parents.
Yeah.
And they make him who he is as a person.
Right.
So he grows up with a sense of helping people.
by
And
the
he
time that he
by
reaches,
the time his real father tells him to be Earth's protector, he's already have that sense in him. He's already a
Right.
hero in a sense.
So here's the thing about Batman, right?
Right.
Because the difference between Superman coming to terms with who he is and deciding to use his superpowers for good is that not everyone can do that.
Okay.
Batman is a superhero because he is a person, just a normal person that rose above the odds that he was set against and became a superhero. Which is again the theme of both universes is one is a lot more like purpose and destiny, where it's like you are given these divine gifts.
Well, they're not divine. but yeah.
Well, yeah, whatever. You're given these gifts, right? I'm
Okay.
just saying, in terms of today's world, you're given things, right? And
Okay.
you can use those things for good, or you can use those things for evil. And like
Right.
we have Lex Luthor, he was given the gift of supernatural
Right, intellect,
intelligence, and he
and he
uses it
becomes
for
a villain.
evil, right?
Exactly, that's
Batman doesn't have that. Batman is someone who was knocked down over and over and over again, and he rises back
He was
up.
not knocked over and over him again.
Yes, he was.
He lost his parents are billionaires. They own Wayne Enterprise. It employs almost half of Gotham City. In Gotham, he's like a demigod. He owns almost everything. The only problem he's dealing with is the loss of his parents. That's the only true thing that makes him become Batman.
Right. Now
He doesn't
here's the-
have like struggles like normal people or what Superman goes through. Superman, from his birth, from arriving to Earth, he's different. You
Superman.
don't. If you go through his growing up as a child, he's experiencing new superpowers every day,
Oh,
and
it's
he has
terrible.
to adjust to. It is terrible.
That's just awful.
It is terrifying.
Because
It's
if
scary,
I woke up
and
tomorrow with super
shooting
strength or
lasers
laser,
out of your
oh my
eyes,
god,
yes,
there
it
are
would be
lasers coming
scary.
out of my eyes.
Yeah, that is extra scary,
I'm
and he doesn't know where
sad.
he's from, and he doesn't know how to control
I just
it.
feel
So
like I can't
first
relate
he
to
has
anyone
learn
because
to-
every time I open my eyes, these lasers come out. You know who else went through that? Cyclops from X-Men, and he's doing just fine.
Oh, that's because he has Professor X to direct him and put him in the school of
Well,
gifted
Superman
and
had Russell
train
Crowe.
him. Superman did. First of all, you can use that analogy.
Yes, I can.
Russell Crowe is okay. That's his dad. He met his dad at a later age.
The point is, it's the thing about it is, after all is said and done, after he wakes up with all his superpowers, right?
He didn't just
gets
wake
them
up
under
with them.
terms.
He experiences them at different times, and he,
He
has
learns-
to adjust to each one of them. He has
And
to
then he
adjust to
adjusts,
one.
and what does he have after he's adjusted?
Hiding,
Nothing.
Hiding. And,
Hiding from
and
who?
deciding between.
And, okay, so tell me
using-
about, you know a lot about Superman, right? Tell
I
me
would
about the
say
day
so.
he decided to stop hiding and use his powers for good. Because
Well,
that happens.
it
He
does
eventually
happen.
stops hiding.
Yeah, that's when he finally decides to embrace his identity
Exactly.
and becomes Superman.
Batman doesn't
But,
stop hiding. Batman never came out and said, "Hey everyone, I'm Batman. I can
Well,
stop hiding now. I
well,
feel
no,
so free
Superman
because
still
everyone's
hides.
going to
Superman is
arrest
still
him."
hiding. That's why he has the double identity. That's
He
the
doesn't
whole
even
point
have-
why- He needs the double identity because people can't know who he is.
Exactly.
That's the his whole struggle.
But people are still grateful for him.
They are as
He
his
doesn't even
persona
have-
of Superman.
he
So
doesn't
he's
even
living
have-
the two lives as Superman and Clark Kent. He hides under
Spider-Man.
Clark Kent.
Spider-Man even has Jonah Jameson saying, "Wow, Spider-Man's a menace," and people are reading this and believing him. He has Fox News after him saying that Spider-Man is terrible.
See, okay,
Superman doesn't even
let's
have-
not drift
I'm just
into
saying,
Spider-Man,
Superman
because if
doesn't
we
even
go
have that.
there,
Everyone is so
every
grateful.
superhero has
Everyone
two
is so
identities.
grateful for Superman's existence.
right. So why is that bad? Why is that a bad
That's
thing?
bad because that's another struggle that other people have that he doesn't have.
Plus, not everyone
Everything's
is
just
happy about
scotch-free
Superman's
for
existence.
Superman.
Lex Luthor is not happy about his existence.
So what?
He has a million.
Lex Luthor has to
super villains that are coming after him.
actively work. Villains is just part of the job. You can't really use.
Right.
I mean, I
yeah,
can't
that's
say.
this is a point showing that not
I
everyone
can't say that
agrees
Superman
with Superman
is
and
too
not-
strong for his villains.
He's not too strong for
See,
his villain. Doomsday kills him.
This is
and
one
he has
thing.
to
This is
be
one thing that I
resurrected.
always have to bring up when I'm arguing this question. Is that
what is-
it's almost impossible to write for Superman because you give him so much.
Yeah, but he has vulnerabilities.
What,
Plus-
kryptonite?
yeah.
Kryptonite?
Magic,
Are you-
kryptonite.
Magic and
Plus,
kryptonite.
you could just
Everyone
say
on Earth
intellect.
has that.
Not everyone has
I
magic.
know.
Not everyone has
I
kryptonite.
know. That was sarcasm.
Exactly. Lex Luthor is able to be his arch enemy because he has so much intellect that he
Okay.
acquires kryptonite.
That's a very good
So-
point. See, Lex Luthor versus Superman. It's
Right.
typical brain versus brawn, right? Lex Luthor has all the intellect. Superman has all
the powers.
Now, here's the thing about that. Did you know that one of Superman's powers is being able to absorb vast quantities of knowledge and automatically knowing how to apply that knowledge to his daily life? He can go into a library, read every book in 5 minutes, just
Yep, that's not how
and then
he's
get
gonna
all
fight
of that,
Lex Luthor.
and then get all of that knowledge. Why is Lex Luthor deemed as smarter than Superman? Lex Luthor is not smarter than Superman. Superman has
that's two different kind
but
of knowledge if you try to compare it that way.
but they need to scale back Superman's powers so that he can
has
have
supervillains.
something.
Exactly. I don't.
Yes.
Well, are you arguing with me on that point? Because I feel
No,
like
I think we both
arguing
agree
on the
on
same
that.
thing. Yes. The point is, if we go back
They
to
give Superman powers and
Batman,
then they have to take them away because they're like, whoa, that's too much. We
No, no,
need
no.
a conflict here. We need to
Right.
give him a conflict.
So if you look at Batman and Superman, both as characters, they both have enemies that's given. They both have superpowers. The point is, who is better at handling
Batman doesn't have superpowers.
Batman has, well, his powers, the bat, and whatever he was on his utility belt, that's his superpowers.
Those aren't superpowers.
He's a superhero because he has superpowers.
You don't need to be a superhero to have superpowers.
Well, he has
or you don't
powers.
need
He
to have superpowers
has-
to be a superhero. Batman
He's
proves
a
that.
trained martial arts. He has his utility belt, which carries gadgets, so that's his powers.
Okay.
The point is, as a character, as a
really
person,
think
if you pull back the powers, look at the person, Superman is better than Batman.
Okay, so if both of them didn't have, if Batman didn't have the suit and he was just going around beating up people with his bare
Right.
hands,
Yeah,
and
that's what I'm saying.
Superman
At the
didn't,
core, they're two different people, and Superman is better. Why? Because
you think Superman's just an overall better person than
Batman.
Bruce Wayne?
Yes.
You mean Clark Kent is a better person
Than Batman.
Bruce Wayne?
yes.
Okay.
Well, Bruce Wayne is building off the wealth of his father. Whatever
he's
company,
not
when
like Donald
Enterprise-
Trump or anything. Like he.
Oh yes, he is.
I'm sure he's
inherited-
helping
He inherited
his-
everything from young age.
I'm sure he's helping his company. I mean, he
multi-billion-dollar company.
he was
all
put in charge of
dad's
his
name.
he was put in charge
Right.
of his company,
And he almost put it
At a
to
young age.
bankruptcy.
and then he didn't.
But the point is,
Clark Kent doesn't know
Clark
anything about
Kent
fiscal
is
responsibility.
a normal person. Clark Kent is an average guy. He grows up on a farm in Smallville.
Oh, boo-hoo.
If you look at him as a person, he has all these powers.
I'm sure
but
he almost put
still
his farm
chooses
into
to be a
bankruptcy,
simple person,
burning all the crops with
So-
his laser vision.
Don't try
Frost
to,
breath.
Are you just using Dexter? Because he grows up as a normal person, because so that the audience can relate to him.
I can't relate to
He
that.
has all these superpowers, yet
I didn't
he
grow up on
chooses
a
to
farm.
be a simple person, be a
Did
reporter.
you grow up on a
mind you.
farm? Yeah.
Let's say
So
why
here's
Batman
the thing about
can-
Superman. He does have absolute power, and we've discussed this before. He could crush the Earth if he wanted to.
Right.
Just one day he wakes up and just goes,
And
"Oh, you know what?
goes
I want to
ballistic."
destroy the."
Yeah.
He would totally do that. No
Right.
one could stop him.
Why doesn't he do it? Because
I don't know.
He is-
I don't know why he doesn't do that.
oh, you do
because
know.
honestly,
that's
he
the main
has.
point of
we've,
this argument.
We talked
It's
about this.
because
He
at
has.
the core, he's a better person.
He has no reason to be doing what he's doing in the first place.
He has all the reason.
Yeah,
he
his
has the
dad
powers.
said, "You're a good
With
person,
great powers
Clark."
come great
And then his-
responsibilities. He
Are
has
you
the
kidding
powers.
me? Weren't you just telling me not to talk about Spider-Man?
No, but I'm just saying you can apply that to all of them. Because he has the powers, he has the obligation to do what's good. And because
has
he was
a
brought up
misplaced
as
sense of
person to be
obligation.
a better person, to be an inspiration
He
to
thinks he
others.
has the obligation because he thinks he's better than everyone else.
He does not think
Yes,
he's better
he
than
most
everyone else, and that's why he
definitely
helps
does.
all
The ego
everyone else.
comes with
in the
the-
Justice League, Batman is the leader and Superman is under him.
Which, don't you think that's a little weird?
Why is that weird? He steps back. He doesn't have to take
You know,
charge all the
seeing
time.
as how you're the Superman fan, why is
Batman is
Batman
the
in
one
charge of
who's
Superman?
thinking of all being.
So you're
the
saying
leader.
Batman's smarter than Superman?
No, he's not. Just
I don't
because
know.
he's
Then
the
why
leader
isn't
doesn't
Superman
mean
the
he's-
leader?
Because
Wouldn't it make more
he's
sense to have
too- he
Superman be
actually
the leader?
even busy doing the real stuff they're supposed to be doing, which is save people and help people.
I think that, look, here's the thing. Batman doesn't change his ways because he has something tangible, something to hold on to. He's doing this because of blank. He's doing this because he couldn't save his parents, and that scarred him mentally. He has to be a good guy. He literally just
And
can't.
because of that, he becomes a dark person. He becomes a dark character.
Yeah, watching
His
your parents
whole
die in front of you makes you
vendetta
pretty dark.
is instill fear in the hearts of criminals.
Yeah.
The only that he's look at the movie posters. Batman movie posters, dark colors,
Yes.
black, because he's fear
And people can relate to
scared
that.
person. Superman is light, dark, hope, bringing humanity to a better place.
Yeah,
giving them
and you
hope
don't think
reason
that
to-
you don't think all that gives him a little bit of ego.
Why
Just
does it
looking
give
at
him
the
Why?
movie posters side by side and going, "Wow,
Right.
look at me!
Superman is
I'm
inspirational.
so great.
Like, no, it's
I'm
not
an
I'm so
inspiration.
great.
He's the
The
Kanye
point-
West of the Superman.
The point is,
I'm
he
the
is an-
genius voice of a generation.
He has all the superpowers, but yet he possesses the humility to lower himself and say,
it's
I
it's
can do
ironic
this because
humility.
I wanna help people.
He's like a
So
vegetarian.
he inspires people to do the same.
He's
to
like
try
a vegan.
To be better
The
people,
ones
to help
that say,
others.
"No, I don't
Batman
kill-"
is say, okay, I'm gonna terrorize the criminals. I'm gonna go in the streets at night and terrorize all the bad people.
Because, and in all
two
fairness,
different
in all
philosophy,
fairness,
two different ways of acting.
Gotham City is a lot worse off than Metropolis.
Is it?
Yes, yes,
Well,
it is.
In ways, if it's dark, it's also because I would say him.
It's not because of Batman. Are you kidding me?
Well,
his
he comes-
parents got shot in the street
Well, that was 30
after
years
coming
ago.
out of an opera. That's how bad it is.
Okay.
And they never caught who did it. That's how bad it is.
Great.
Its
So
main
we
export
have a
is
corrupt
insane people.
we have a
all
corrupt
of his
city.
all of his villains are completely insane. At
Well-
least Lex Luthor is sane. Like
Okay,
he's evil,
so
but
if-
he's sane. Brainiac.
Brainiac is a super level. We can't
But-
even
but
start
he's
to compare him
sane.
to Batman.
At least he's
Look at
not
Batman's-
schizophrenic.
Look at Batman's villains. The Joker, the
Crazy,
Riddler, the
crazy,
Penguin.
crazy.
They're all crazy.
They're all
exactly.
crazy.
Superman has to deal with intergalactical super beings that can annihilate the whole planet. He has to deal with forces that are beyond Batman, beyond himself.
Beyond Batman, yet
But
when
the
a
point
crisis is so
is
large
he's
that all the
inspiring you.
superheroes need to come together, Batman's the leader. Why is that?
Well, maybe because he runs when enterprise, he can coordinate things more efficiently. It doesn't mean he's the better superhero.
Maybe it's because he's the better superhero. Maybe it's because all these superheroes came together and said, "Yeah, that guy's he
No,
obviously
because
needs
he
to
has
be in
the
charge."
experience of leading. Because Superman grows up in the city, in
the
a
farm,
suburb
in
farm.
Kansas.
What does he know
In
about leading people?
Kansas.
But doesn't mean he's not a
He's
better
the
person.
he's the
And that's
beacon
the
of hope.
point.
He's the beacon of hope
Yes,
for the earth.
Because
That's
he
what he
stands
knows
up
about
against,
leading people.
against injustice, and he tries to help people, even though he has the power to choose to do whatever he wants. But he chooses to be
Because
that person that fights crime and still show people
Yes.
what.
So, closing arguments. Batman is better than Superman because his story is much more palpable. A lot more people have been where he has been and can relate to what he's gone through than Superman, who is an alien that comes from a planet that doesn't exist. Second, his character. He is a better person than Superman because he doesn't pity those that he fights against. Superman, he knows he's better than most of his villains. He knows that he's a better person and that he's the shining beacon of hope or whatever. Batman, in a way, or in many ways, is similar to his villains. He understands this and doesn't pity them for it. And third, he was put in charge of the Justice League because he can get people under. He's an organizer. He knows what he's doing. He's been there before. And when he has Wonder Woman, Superman, The Flash, Green Lantern, he can take them all in and have them look up to him and say, this guy is in charge and I need to know my place, even though all of those people are obviously much more powerful than he is alone.
Okay? This is why I think Superman is better than Batman. First of all, if you look at his origin, he's an alien, which means at the beginning he's a different person. However, the whole point of Superman is showing that even though you're different, you still have what it takes to make a difference in the world, whatever it is. He has the superpowers, but he chooses to use them for a greater good, showing everyone out there that whatever it is, you can make a difference. You can try to be a better person, despite your status, your whatever class you have. So by that philosophy, he's showing what it's like to be better human. So that's why he's the beacon of hope and humanity. His character, growing up as a simple person in the farm in Smallville, and then becoming what he is, the shining superhero of Earth, is because he wants more people to relate to him. That's why he has the double identity of Clark Kent and then Superman. As Clark Kent, he's a more relatable person. He's your everyday Joe. Everyone can relate to him. But on the side, he's fighting crimes. He's trying to make better choices and helping people in the world. And that's it. Was that 30 seconds?